morning session. Glad you can join us. Hope everybody's doing well. All right, just starting up here.
Request to join, so I'll see if that works.
Yeah, that would be the one. I see him now. That's what you click on, George. Like I said, you hover over the name and you'll see request to join. That's correct.
Yeah, okay.
You can keep trying Peter for me as well, because he's
okay, will do.
all right. How are you, Marquise?
I'm well. Just taking a look at the charts here. I've seen a nice setup at about 0.88 something, like right before the news came out. So I couldn't take it because the news was coming out like 2 minutes later. But just tracking. I noticed that the markets have been really just sideways, or what you would call the kangaroo market. Call for this entire week. Kangaroo market. A lot of sideways action. It's up for this entire week. Kangaroo market. A lot of sideways. No real trends for me to kind of follow.
Let's take a look at all that. We'll see what's going on. I have to ask Peter, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. I was just going to type you a message in Skype.
Okay. Peter, what happened? I've been calling you and calling you and calling you. What happens on your end? What do you see?
I went to the bathroom.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Emergency call.
That's allowed. Okay. All right. So that is what is going on. I thought maybe you were having technical difficulties, so I'm just wanting to see if we could help in some way. All right. No, let me take a look at the calendar for today, which is 24th. So we had some red news unemployment. It came in line with expectations, so it probably didn't have any effect.
No real problems on the news.
We have existing home sales and durable goods and so on, but they didn't seem to have much effect. It looks like, although forecast for durable goods is quite high compared to, it's quite low, sorry, compared to actual. Interesting. And existing homes.
What was quite low?
Durable goods was high in comparison to the forecast. Existing home sales is coming up at 10. So that'll be the next, but that's it's not red news. So all right, so that's basically it. So the markets have been seem to be quite uniform here. Let me take a look at it from a weekly standpoint. And this Marquis is saying that it's been very volatile, choppy. So I think, Marquis, the first thing I would notice from the weekly, and I went over this I think on Monday, is that we've had this move to the downside, and now we've pulled back to the upside. So that kind of puts us in one of those kind of areas, you see. So on the bigger picture, we are certainly, you see how it looks. So even if I went like that, boom, and now we do this, we're just chopping, you see. So it's been very choppy in this area here, especially, and we'll see it a lot more when we go to the 4-hour. And now we've pushed up, but we're still inside a chop. So the key takeaway, is that you should always be looking at the chart from the higher point of view, because you get to see the overall picture, so you can see what's been going on. We've been in quite a chop, and at this point here, we're again in a chop. So what would be our trajectory based on what we've got here right now, right? Yesterday, when we looked at this, you know, the expectation was that we'd go up and take out the highs. But like I said, it's not going to happen all of a sudden in one go. And they came up and took out only one of the highs. So now they pull back and we'll try again. And, you know, there's still these highs to be taken out. This one and this one. So that's kind of the trajectory of the market right now. So on the 1 hour, you can see, now we start to see quite clearly what's going on, right? So we've got this 1, 2 down here, and we pushed all the way up, and now we are choppy, see? So we've been in a chop. That's why you're seeing what you're seeing. And now our trajectory, nice word, is to push to take out that high. That will be my expectation. Okay, so we've come back into that gap and swept these lows. And so we'd be looking for 1, 2, 3 here to push to go up. That's what's going on. So now that we know where we are, and it's very, very evident now, especially on this time frame. I'm on the 30, so I can see it quite clearly. I get rid of all this stuff off my chart. And okay, so trajectory is to take out this high up here, and then the highs above, of course. Right? So we've already taken one of them out. It was from yesterday or last night. So this one is gone. So this one will be following. So we've got this one and then this one, and then there's one more above. There it is, that one there. So that's kind of the trajectory that we're heading up for today. So can we make it? It looks pretty good that we should be able to make that, okay? So I can see on the 30-minute, I have a 1, 2, 3 right there. So we're in the third wave already. Starting to push up. We've taken out previous highs, coming to take out this one next, and so on, right? So there are opportunities, but in here, no, it's very tough. Yes, you can play it, but it's, you know, if you understand where you are from the bigger picture, it's very difficult to play in here because you're chopping up and down, up and down, up and down. So yes, you're correct, Marky. It's been very choppy. So here there was an opportunity to play this leg, beautiful, but then when they come in here, they're just chopping it up. So they're accumulating and manipulating, as it were, and now we're starting to push to the upside. Okay, so on the 15, that's a huge, you know, 1, 2, 3 there. That's taking us up. So on the 5-minute, how's our time? We got 4 minutes left before the market opens. So on the 5-minute, that we can break it right up. So there we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Like still a 1, 2, and then we're pushing out. So since we've broken that high, so what will we expect here at the open? Perhaps a pullback and then a continuation. That would be the ideal, you know, if we can get a pullback first. That will give us a chance to jump in. We don't really want to buy up at this level. I don't know if they're going to pull back. They could just go straight up. We'll come down to the 1-minute time frame. But let me stay. I'm going to stay on the 15 for 1 second. Actually, let me just see. There's a gap here. That's the only gap we have on the 15. So this might be a stretch for them to come back down here.
Yeah.
But see on the 5. So on the 5, there are no other gaps. Yes, there is. There's one here on the 5, but the 15-minute one takes precedence. If you know, but I don't know if they're going to come all the way back down to this level. We'll find out in a couple minutes here, though. All right, so I'd be looking for a possible retrace, but I don't know if they're going to, because right now it looks very strong. We're taking out the highs already and so on. So let's see how S&P looks. S&P is already taking out the highs. So you can see S&P is very clear here. Got a 1, 2, and then another 1, 2, and another little 1, 2, and we're starting to go. And see how Bitcoin looks on the 1 minute. Bitcoin's similar. See how Bitcoin is almost similar. You know, got 1, 2s, and then it's trying to push to the upside. So we're looking for a pullback, but I don't know if we're going to get one. Let's go back down to the 1 minute. All right, so on the 1 minute, these are playable. You know, at this level, you can catch these moves, but again, it's very choppy. So we're just a few seconds, 30 seconds away from the open. You know, let's look at how choppy this is. But there's a 1, 2, another 1, 2, yet another one. So can we get a pullback here? So this is a 5-minute gap. This is the 15-minute gap. Unlikely that we're going to come all the way back down here. Unlikely even that we could come back here. You know, so yeah, 5 seconds, and we'll see what they do here. So I'm looking for a pullback, but I don't know if we'll even get one at all. We'll see. All right, here we go. So this is the closest gap we have right here. Second gap. Equal lows here. So possibility that we could come into this gap down here. Possibility. They might come and take out these equal lows. But it might be a stretch. So it is a little tempting to just buy it right here because I've got a break of the high. I'm getting a 1, 2, 3, and we could just continue just chucking along. But it's a tough one. It's a tough one because I don't know if they're going to bring it back down. You know, at this point in time, they could still drop it back, or they might just leave town without us. So.
Yeah, well, we're still in wave 4 type things. But the trend has been up this morning.
See how Tesla opened up for Peter here. Tesla's opened down. Interesting. So it's trying to move back up. So for you, Peter, I would we've got a sweep here. So a sweep of this high and a retrace would be the ideal to catch this move. So
Okay, thanks.
that's kind of what I'd be looking for at that point. But I just came right on the 1 minute time frame. Let me go up to the 15. So yeah, it's similar because we're inside this trench here. So yeah, at least in the short term to go back up to these highs, that would be a nice move. So yeah, that looks pretty good. 5 minutes. Catch a little ride back up to the top there. So we're at 251, 252. So you could get back up to 258 from that down there. That's not bad. Okay, so let's see what NAS. So you see it's very volatile here, right? So
yeah,
jumping in on that move wouldn't have got you very far. You have to be out of there pretty quick, and they're coming right back to take. So there's lots of liquidity here. So it's possible they can come back and take everybody out. So, or again, they can just leave. But this is a tough one to to say, yes, I want to go in right at this point here. It's tempting, but you see, this one wouldn't have been a great play. The first one wouldn't have been a great play because they're coming right back to where you started.
Were you able to get in, Lennox?
No, I'm just waiting because it's a bit
It's volatile. It's all
volatile right now. Yes.
The VIX is below 28 right now, but we're in that opening situation.
So our 4-hour candle just opened at 9 o'clock, and what it's showing is that we moved down into the tail of the candle, and now we're pushing up in the body of the candle. So
Yeah,
where are we heading to is those highs I was pointing out earlier. So I'm looking for, again, still looking for a retrace here, but I don't know if they're going to do it. They're a bit hesitant, yet looking like they want to go. So we're sort of spinning our wheels at this moment. The 4-hour candle looks quite strong.
yeah, I'm on a 2-hour candle and it's strong also, but this is still giving us all kinds of indications. It wants to go up, but it's having a struggle doing it, etc.
It looks like Bitcoin is leaving the station quite strongly here. So not much of a pullback at the open on Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, I see that.
You can see the NAS is still playing a little bit of games here.
Yep, it's been doing that all morning.
So Tesla has pulled back nicely. You can see Tesla did take out that high. So that's what I was referring to there, Peter. We're taking out the high, pulling back.
Yeah, see it.
So we do have a gap there. We come back into the gap perfectly at the 50% level. So if there was anything I was going to buy, I'd be buying Tesla right now. So I buy Tesla and see what happens when I buy Tesla. And put a target on for the previous high up here. So take profit up at these highs.
What price level?
Looking at the previous high, which is around 258.
Okay.
258.23, it looks like. So that's what my play would be on Tesla. Okay, where do I put my stop here? I guess that's a good enough risk, I would think. Risking about $600 or so, 650. See if we can get out of there. Okay, let's see the NAS again. Okay, so NAS did come down just like Tesla did, back into this gap. So this gap has been holding very strongly. So this, again, I don't know if they're going to come through any further down, which is what I would have liked to have seen. So they could leave without us here.
I got in and it's already triggered my first lot.
Yeah, look at the difference with S&P. S&P came down and took out the lows, you see?
Yeah,
So there's the difference with S&P. We came down and triggered these lows, whereas the NAS did not do that. So it's quite a difference in the chart. So we can still come down, and that's what I'm concerned about. And Bitcoin's coming back as well. Okay, so there's a lot of liquidity still sitting down below these lows here. So it is possible for them to come all the way back. But
yeah, apparently there is.
yeah, it's very tricky right now, that's for sure. But interestingly, Tesla is saying, I'm leaving. Tesla's leaving the station. No problem. So we should start to see the NAS and so forth start to move to the upside here. So this might have been the last opportunity here to get in on this move to the upside. Let's see, this is our 930 candle.
On the 30-minute, I have 4 Heikin-Ashi ups so far. Still going. See what it is when I go down. One, two, three, 4.
It's trying. It really is. And they have to go without me because it was just a bit too testy there. I didn't know if they were going to drop it back or not at that point. So there we go.
We're moving up very nicely.
Yeah, so it's going the expected way. These guys this one has been taken out. So this would be my next high here. Yeah, it's a tough one here because of how of the volatility. You just don't know if they're going to really spike it back down or not. So, but Tesla was kind of pointing the way, saying, "Yeah, I'm going to go." So an entry on this point here would have been, yes, take an entry in this gap and put a stop right here. That's totally reasonable, and then you catch that move. And it's turned out to be quite a nice move. So there we go. So this is our first gap after 930 right here. Looks like we might get that gap. How did IBM fare in their? I didn't check IBM's earnings. No, they were giving their earnings last night. They are down huge. Ooh. Wow. Okay, so IBM didn't do so well on their earnings. Interesting. I totally forgot about them. I remember seeing them in the earnings report calendar that they would be having news. April 24th. Okay, here we go for today. So we have, let's go after market. So Google gave their earnings already today. Intel gives their earnings after market. So Google is also on that list. Well, quite the drop there on IBM. Let's see what Google did. Google didn't do much, not much movement in Google at all. So nothing of any consequence there. Right, so that's quite the move there, George, if you're still in.
Yeah, I'm still in.
That's a beauty. Yeah, it was a tough one there. You know, just could have taken the chance and just put my stop right there, and that would have been fine. But
I'm trying for a 141%. It's been quite a move so far.
okay, Armin's requesting to join. I'm not sure why I have to request to join when you guys should have a join button.
Yeah. You want me to get it?
I don't have one that I'm aware of.
It should just be, meet, join, either join meeting or meet button. How did you get on in the first place? Before I came on.
Me?
Yeah. You must have hit a meet button of some kind.
No, I just hit whatever button came to mind. I'm hunting and poking around here. I just punch buttons. I'm still getting used to Teams.
Yeah, so we all are here.
We all are, yeah. That's
Armin?
for sure.
Hello. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. When you just asked me to request for you to join. Do you not have a meet button on Teams?
Well,
when you go to S123 Live, do you not at the top of your? Don't you have a join meeting or a meet button?
Well,
No?
I didn't see a button per se, but on the left side, it basically gives you a list, and it says join. The discussion, join Teams, and
right.
Click on it. Nothing seems to happen there.
Oh,
so
I see. Okay.
So I had to write into chat, and then I guess you saw me.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
Okay.
I heard my little phone ring in and went, oh, okay, I can click on now. So.
All right, thanks. So I jumped into Tesla here, and Tesla is dogging it now, while the Nasdaq is screaming along. So quite interesting. Tesla looked like it was going to scream along, and the Nasdaq was going to dog it. So it's quite a turn of events here. So interesting. So the S&P was giving us a better setup than the NAS. You see how the S&P cleared out everyone down here and then created a nice 1, 2, 3. So this is a much better setup on the S&P for that move than it was on the NASDAQ, which did not do the same kind of thing. The NASDAQ was a lot more volatile in here, did not take any of the liquidity and so forth and just rifled out. We did get a 1, 2, 3 here, but it was hard to say whether or not they were going to come down to take out those equal lows at that point. So hence the reason I didn't jump in on that trade. So I decided to go in on Tesla just to see if Tesla would go. Did make a nice first move, but now it's kind of slow motion here. So I'm going to move my stop up on Tesla into below that level here. So if just in case they decide they're going to come down for whatever reason, we're getting another 1, 2, 3. So I'd like to see them push up, but
And Tesla in pre-market trading was as low as 245 this morning. So I'm expecting it to go down eventually. I think it's a bit of a head fake.
We do have a nice 1, 2, 3 there. It doesn't look like it's going to be a fake. We should make it to these highs here. We've swept all these lows out. We've got a nice 1, 2, 3 now. So yeah, we should push up to these levels here. Looks like. If it is a fake, then it would be that this is actually a third wave, and then we're just going up to drop. But I don't really see that occurring at this point. It's possible, of course, but it looks like we should reach up for the 258 area.
Yeah, it's got a nice 1, 2, 3 now.
But look at that beautiful play on the NAS, and unfortunately, it did not get a ride on that. So we are for those on YouTube, thanks for dropping in and watching our live session here. We are the 1, 2, 3 traders. Simply put, we look for 1, 2, 3 tops and bottoms, and here's a good example of what I'm referring to on Tesla. We saw a sweep and a move down. We get a sweep of the high, just like that, sweep there, and then we look for a retrace. Once we get that retrace, we look for an entry, and that entry is usually in the 50 to 62% retrace area. That's a Fibonacci. So this is our number 1 point. This is our number 2 point. This is our number 3 point. And we look for a retrace between number 1 and number 2 to the 50 to 62% level. And that constitutes our entry and entry area. And then we look for price to move out to a target. And I like the 1.618 target as the goal. So that's our 1, 2, 3 model, method, system, tactic, whatever you want to call it. So let me put the fib on here and see where 1.618 would be on this move. So we'll look at where my target is. I've set my target for that, and there's 1.618. I'm just off by like just a tad there. So that's right in line with my target. So there are 3 targets that we kind of shoot for: 1.1, 1.414, 1.272, 1.618. You can also take off profits anywhere along, actually. So 100%, 1.272, 1.414, 1.618 is my favorite target. So that's based off of 1, 2, 3. So we're getting another one. And so we're still looking for Tesla to make this move to the upside here. If we're wrong, Tesla's going to come down, take me out, and continue down.
What's the 5-minute chart look like?
So the 5-minute chart, again, we've got 1, 2, 3 tops up here. We drop, go back up, drop, sweep, getting a 1, 2, 3 here. So again, looking for this for it to push to the upside here. Let me just squeeze this chart up a little bit.
And the 4-hour chart is on the right there. You got candles there.
Yeah, so we are in a choppy affair, you can see. So I would expect us to come back up to the highs here.
Okay, I got my 162%.
Excellent. So that's a great move on the NAS there. So George was a little braver than I was this morning here, jumping into that trade. Very good, George.
Thank you.
Oh, let's see how the NAS. Yeah, that's beautiful move on the NAS. So looking at this move here from this low, that's our 1, 2, 3 at that point. So that's 261% to that level right there, George. 1.618 is right here. So
well,
and
yeah,
above.
I'm on a 3-minute chart.
I see. Okay. So on the 1 minute time frame, we would be at 261.8% at that point. So pretty good move there on the NAS. So how close are we to our target there? Still a ways to the target. Interesting. So let's see, 5 minutes, 15. Nope, still can't see it. 30 on the 30 minute. We still have a ways to go to get up to that high. We've got very, very nice move there. So we called it correctly, but it's the getting in that was a little tough side there.
I'm looking at the 15-minute chart here. If you go back
Of
on
Tesla
to the 22nd, there's a big gap on the 15-minute chart there that it might want to fill. That, you know, in pre-market trading, it went down to fill it at 245. So
245. Are you talking about this gap over here?
hang on, I'll just go back to. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So
Don't
I'm
see us
thinking
going. I
might,
don't see us going back down there, but
it might swing back down that low and then go carry on up.
don't think it's going to do that, to tell you the truth, because of the fact that we did. So we're just chopping right now. So I would expect us to chop to the upside at this point. There is a gap here. I got some gaps. Let me go a little higher here on the hourly to see what I've got. So I've got a gap over here. Let me get rid of that.
There was one news article on Tesla this morning. The White House said that Musk isn't going anywhere. He's not finished his job at Doge yet, so I don't know.
He better finish his job at Tesla.
Yeah, I get back to it. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the political capital is all being, you know, expended by Musk. You know, Trump's pretty smart. He's not, you know, spending any of his political capital doing all the chopping in Washington. It's all, it's Musk.
Yeah.
It's not me. It's Musk.
Yeah, I don't really see the Tesla dropping back down below at all today. Not
Very
today,
good.
anyways. But it's the trajectory, like I say, on the 15-minute, we've had a 1, 2, 3 bottom here, and this move up, it just puts us in a fourth wave chop. So at this point, we're inside a channel, and I'd be looking for us to go back up to the top of the channel, not to drop down. This shouldn't occur. I wouldn't expect that to occur. Based on the strength of the S&P right now and the NASDAQ. So look at S&P is taking out the previous high already. So based on the strength of these guys, we should see strength in Tesla going to the upside. Right? Yeah. So yeah, it's looking, NASDAQ is heading for that high. So it's a beautiful move that I'm not a participant in on that one. Bitcoin might give us an opportunity here because it's still struggling. So let's see Bitcoin here on the 15. You can see how choppy this whole thing has been. Bitcoin was having problems. So at this point on the 15, we have a beautiful 1, 2, 3 bottom. We've broken that high, getting another 1, 2, 3 coming back in. So a buy opportunity here on Bitcoin is setting up. It looks like. Let me just go higher just to double check. Okay, and it's similar to Tesla in this same kind of, we're in this kind of channel. They dropped it down. So we'll be looking for them to come back up to take out these highs. We're right in a gap here as well. So just pull this across. So that looks like a likely trajectory as well, because we've swept these lows here and we're looking to push back up to take out the highs up here. So an opportunity for a play in Tesla.
It looks like
Or
NASDAQ
Bitcoin,
is going to go to 262.
Yeah, it's already hit it on the 1 minute chart. Yeah. So yeah, Bitcoin. Sorry, I was saying Tesla. Bitcoin is poised to take a trip north here as well. So at the open, you see how volatile this was, and they did come back down and sweep out a few of these areas. So that's what I thought that, and I was expecting the NAS to do, was to come back down and sweep out some of those lows, but only the S&P did it. NAS wouldn't do it. So there's Bitcoin sweeping all the lows. We get a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move down, and now a breach of this high and a retrace would give us an opportunity to enter to continue back up. So a little patience on Bitcoin, we might be able to catch a nice ride here. We've got inverted gap on this side and a regular gap here. So this looks like about 50% retrace area. So can we get that? So looking for them to take this high and then give us a retrace. Here we've taken the high, similar to what we did in Tesla there.
Just so you know, Qubit popped 12% this morning.
Oh, excellent. So I'm looking for a retrace of this guy here back down to around the 50% level. So 50% level will take me into the first gap here. Don't know if we're going to get a big retrace like that. We've got a series of gaps here, and they're going higher and higher. So it looks like they don't even want to retrace here. Possibly. Oh my! We just taken off here on the Bitcoin now. Right. So I'm getting a nice move now on Tesla finally. So there we go. All right. So getting some nice profit there on Tesla. I'm gonna bring my stop into positive. Just gonna let this one ride.
Yeah, you were right on Tesla.
Yeah, so beautiful 1, 2, 3 bottom, and then another 1, 2, 3 bottom. So we're sweeping, and off we go. So it was possible for them to come back and sweep this low here, but they did not do that. So that was a good thing that we did not sweep that low.
Another
we get another 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, there. That I was going to call that.
Yeah. So another 1, 2, 3 there, another little one, and then now we get that nice move. So it could take some off at this point. You know, nothing wrong with doing that, and just let the rest go, type of thing. But I'd be looking for them to continue pushing up here. So we've got a gap here. See if this gap will continue holding us up. We'll continue pushing off of it.
Okay, we are actually at 10 o'clock now. We're
Okay,
3 minutes
so
past 10. So,
there was some news at 10 o'clock, right? We had some existing home sales coming out, but I don't know if that's going to make any dent in the.
yeah, I don't think so. But the question comes up, if an algo is going to start now, it should be going down, really, you would think. But I
Well,
don't see it happening.
let's just see what we've got. So we still haven't reached the highs yet on the NAS. Let me see S&P. S&P's got a long way to go before it reaches its highs as well. So this high here, still a long way to go.
Yeah, but we haven't
So-
really gotten much of a retrace yet. No retrace really on the 3-minute NAS.
Well, we shouldn't be retracing on the 50. Yeah, here I am. If I go to the 15-minute chart, you'll see this a little clearer.
Yeah, I'm on a 30-minute chart also, and it's nothing but up.
We have a 1, 2, 3 here, so we shouldn't be retracing. We should just be going straight up. This was my expectation. It was just a matter of trying to get in this morning at the open there, and it was a bit tough. That's all. You managed to squeak in there without getting stopped out, so that was.
Well, I was on active trader, and I put it actually below where the activity was, and it went out and took me in. You know, I was lucky.
So there's the NAS on the 15, the same type of thing. So if I put the fibs on this 1, 2, 3 here on the 15-minute time frame, there's my 1.618 target area, and we're very close to that previous high. So that's what what's where they're heading to take out that high.
Right.
So after that, now yes, we could get a little bit of a pullback, or maybe not much of a pullback, because again, we know where we are once we get here. You know, we could just, go sideways and continue going up after that. So with Tesla, again, Armin, you can see the reason why I was saying we shouldn't be pulling back is because they're gunning to take out these highs up here as well. And we're just inside of a channel, and they're just chopping it up and down. So the next move is to the upside of the channel. That would be the expected move, right?
Right. Okay. 253. 52.
Back down to the 1 minute here. So we're still chopping along here. It's not going as quickly as I would like, of course, but that's okay. Bring my stop up a little bit more, lock in some more profits in here. Be able to squeak out $1,000. That might be a bit too tight if I come into that gap, but should be okay, I would think, at that point. Can't get 1,000 though. 900. All right, we're doing pretty good. I'm not too far away from target.
What's your target?
That is the previous highs.
258.
Yeah, 258.30 area.
It's headed that way.
But as we can see that this was a beautiful, beautiful move on the NAS here. So it's one thing to call it, and then the other thing to watch it go without you. But that's the way it is sometimes, and that's okay. As long as you get the idea of how it works. But it's quite interesting the difference that they throw between the NAS and S&P though. So taking out these, this was the expected that we would take out these lows, and they did it on the S&P here, but not on the NAS. So
It's a beautiful 1-2-3 bottom on the 5-minute Tesla.
yeah, so complete divergence play here that can fool everybody, and that's what they did. So we look at both S&P and the NAS on the 1-minute time frame back at that level. It's essentially what they're doing. They're throwing divergence to fool everybody in essence. So the real move was the one that S&P did, that by taking out the lows when the NASDAQ couldn't do that. So sitting on the NAS, I'm expecting them to come down. And so had I looked at the S&P before I did all that, I would have seen that, it's divergence. And then I would have known, okay, I can get in here to catch that move. But it was after the fact that I saw the divergence. Yes, we are getting
on what?
S&P and the NAS.
Oh.
Okay. That's why I feel I'm always talking to myself, because chatting away. So like I'm saying, the NASDAQ was doing one thing and the S&P was doing another at the open, and the S&P did it properly by taking out the lows. I'm expecting that to happen on the NAS, and they don't do that. So there is divergence, and that's why I'm sitting here waiting for the NAS to come down, expecting them to do that, but they don't do it. But if I had looked at the S&P, I would have seen that, the S&P's already done that, so I could jump into the NAS.
Well, the NAS is retracing right now.
Yes, we're getting a little bit of a pullback there. And we would expect a pullback, but still room to go here. Now, they don't have to take out that high. It's not, it's not a prerequisite that they do that, but based on our 1, 2, 3 here on the 15, we should take that high up. Isn't anything
The other
really
question is this going to be an extended retrace at this point, since it's the 10 o'clock time frame?
Yeah, I mean, the algo can just keep going straight up, George. It doesn't have to retrace, so.
Well, I know, but as far as I would be seeing now, the algo would be over if it had started at much, much earlier. But I don't know.
Well, again,
this is a different ball game here.
The algo is, between 10 o'clock and
oh, yeah,
11.
but the algo can start 10 minutes early, too.
Okay, so the algo is, the rules for the algo is that it's between 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock. So that's all there is. So if nothing forms between 10 and 11 o'clock, then there's no algo. So that's the rules for it. So yes, we're seeing a move prior to 10 o'clock, this move here that we could consider, yes, an algo move of some kind, but it's not the algo that ICT refers to.
Well, I've never seen an algo start before 10 minutes to 10. I mean, less than 10 minutes to 10. I've seen it start at 10 minutes to 10 and be good.
I don't want to confuse everybody about the algo and so forth. So I know you speak about the algo in a different way than I'm speaking about the algo. I'm talking about ICT's algo at 10 o'clock, and ICT's algo at 2 o'clock, and ICT's algo so that's 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 3 a.m. So So I just want to make everybody understand what I'm talking about,
Okay.
so that there's no confusion, because you refer to algos all the time, but it's not what I'm talking about. So it's a
Okay.
10 a.m.
I'm
10
talking
a.m.
about the one defined by Ken Calhoun.
Okay, so we're
2
talking about
years
two
ago.
different things then. So
Okay.
you can't throw that into the mix unless you explain what you mean. So I'm
That's the
talking
one
about.
I put the article out on.
I see. So yeah, we're talking about something totally different that nobody knows about. So I'm talking about ICT's 10 a.m. algo, 2
Okay.
p.m. algo, and 3 a.m. algo. So those are the three algos that these occur 10 a.m. It's a 1 hour window, 10 to 11, and 2 to 3, right? And 3 to 4 a.m., right? So that's just a 1 hour. So just to be clear, so that everybody understands what I'm referring to, this is those algos. So it's a window of 1 hour. So within that hour, we want to see a move of some kind like that. It doesn't always occur. That's the thing. So at 10 a.m. right now, we're in that window till 11. So if we get an algo move, which implies a fair value gap of some kind to start off the algo, then that would be what we're looking for. But what George is referring to is something totally different. So maybe you can explain that, George, what you're referring to.
Well, the algo is really defined as a very structured move where the big boys sprinkle in smaller lots of their usual 1,000 lot orders, and if the market takes this, it'll move it in one direction, and you get a parabolic type move in one direction with almost no consolidation going on. You might have a 2-minute consolidation or something like that, but usually nothing more than that. And it most often will end up at 162% of the move from the beginning.
Okay, so that can occur at any time. It's not specific time.
No, it's 10. The 10 to 11 is the defined time, but it can go as early as 10 minutes to 11.
Oh, okay. So
And
it's
this
a
is
defined
defined
time.
by Ken Calhoun in the TASC magazine back in March of 2023.
Okay. So and that's the only time that 10 o'clock time?
He only talks about the 10 o'clock time,
Okay.
but as we have observed, there is a 2 o'clock time and a 2 o'clock p.m. time and a 3 o'clock a.m. time.
Interesting. So it's the same thing that ICT is referring to in essence.
Yeah. And I've
quite
talked to other people about it who have have been, floor traders and understand more about it than.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's similar to ICT's times as well. So yes, so
Yeah.
it seems that the market is moving for whatever reason at those particular times, because everything is based on time and sales, so
Yeah.
time and price. So
and the termination of the algo is if the parabolic movement begins to have consolidation, usually of
like
3 minutes or more, it will stop. They
so
will
this
just
would
cut it off.
so this would be considered
This would not be considered an algo right now.
no, because we're consolidating at this point now.
Yes.
Yeah. So we've had quite a run here on the NAS, and now looking like we're a little bit of a consolidation, and before we continue the move, because we still haven't really taken out our high. We're close, but not quite. So with Tesla, Tesla's made that nice move. I've actually moved my target up, Peter, to a little to higher to the let's see, where did I move it to 259.50 target, because, and the reason why, because on the 15-minute time frame, there is a previous high over here, which is the 259.44 high right there. So I just put it a bit above that high. It looks like we should be able to take that high right out. So this is a nice run on Tesla.
Yeah,
So
this
Lennox.
run on NASDAQ looks like it wants to reach up, and there is a target on 423. That's about over 100 handles away. Well, right now that it was 100 handles away where it hit the last support level.
Lennox. Does IC is the macro from ICT as well?
Yes, the macro is a 10 minute to the hour, every hour. I know, and then there's only one that occurs 15 minutes after the hour. That's in the last hour of the day, 15 minutes after till 15 minutes before the hour. That's the half an hour. Well, that's, yeah, the half an hour macro there. But other than that, they're all 10 minutes to the hour till 10 minutes after the hour. So for instance, yeah.
What was you said, what time was the 15-minute or the 30-minute algo?
The last
macro?
hour of the day. During the last hour, 15 minutes after 3, sorry. So 15 minutes to 3. So that's what he considers the macros. And the macros are different in the sense that the macros are seeking liquidity. So you look to jump in to find where they're heading for liquidity. So 10 minutes to 10 here, when this macro begins, it's seeking liquidity. So where would liquidity be above that high? So they came down, went back up, took out the liquidity. So that would be, in essence, the macro running till 10 minutes after the hour.
So what is the algo seeking?
The algo is also seeking liquidity, but it's a more dynamic run. So the difference between them is that it's a more dynamic move, whereas the macro sometimes is just very tepid, except for the macro at 10 minutes to 4, where that one can be quite volatile, quite the move on the, as we've seen in the past, right? We can get quite the push that last hour. That last 10 minutes, I should say.
I miss getting in this next up move.
You're still trying to squeak out something. Okay, so yeah, they did that. I wasn't even paying attention to the NAS there. So yeah, they did that little pullback and a quick 1, 2, 3, and off we go. So there again, for those watching, this is our 1, 2, 3 that we're looking for. The retrace. It's very, very straightforward, very simple. Because that's why we call it the simple 1, 2, 3. And we're entering in that area, and we catch the move, and that's as simple as it is. So if you're paying attention, you can catch these moves. They did not sweep that low. Interesting. They came down, did not sweep that low. Let's see if S&P did. S&P did not either. So nice 1, 2, 3, and off they went again. So continuation of that move to the upside. So Bitcoin, it did come back all the way back down. You see that? So I was looking for that retrace, and when I last left off, we were right here, and look at how high up they went. So that's quite the run from down here, and then this big, huge retrace. So they retraced back into above or below 79%, and now looking to leave. But Bitcoin's very volatile right now, so it's a tough one. A tough one here on Bitcoin. Yeah, I would expect them to continue going up. However, there's room for them to drop through and take out these buyers here. So they've come down quite a ways. So this could be a possibility that they come through and take everybody out before they turn this around, if they're going to turn it around. That is, right? So it's looking very lean on Bitcoin to me. So I've got a 1, 2, 3 here. This is what's been controlling this move, and it's looking like this is a move that's going to take all these lows out. I'm kind of would be looking for a 1, 2, 3 top over here to continue going down rather than looking to go up. So this might be what's going on. So that would mean that NASDAQ is possibly coming to take out this high, and we might see a turnaround happening before the end of the day here today.
I took my profit on Tesla.
Nicely done. Yeah, I have my stop up. It looks like I'm going to get stopped out for profit here. I'm hoping they don't hit me, because there's still room to continue going up. Might have put it a bit too tight, and yeah, by a tick here, they almost got me. So if they don't get me, we could still continue pushing up, taking out these highs. But I'm very tight here with my stop. Didn't think I put it that tight, because there was a gap here. So I thought this gap would hold, but the gap did not hold. So they came through the gap. And yeah, so they've taken me out. So okay, so I made some nice profit there, but could have stayed alive maybe if I hadn't put my stop that tight.
There's a difference.
So nice move, Peter.
Thank you.
NAS is up 1.6%, while S&P is only up 1.04%, and Dow is only up 0.4%. A big difference between the three. And VIX is still under 28 right now, so
the fear is abating in the market a little bit, which is good. Okay, so I look to get back. Do I want to get back into Tesla? Could still get back into Tesla. There's still room for us to continue going up, taking out those highs. So I might have just put my stop in a little too tight. We could have kept it, but below this level, it might have been okay. But I wanted to secure a couple grand in that trade, so it did work out.
You might be able to get back in pretty soon.
Yeah. So the NAS is gone again.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm going to watch Bitcoin here and to see if there's an opportunity in Bitcoin. So they've dropped it down quite a bit here. We've swept everybody out now. So at this point, this move with our 1, 2, 3 here, we drop it, come back up, drop it again, sweep. So we could see a push back up, but I'm not thinking they're going to take out these highs. I think that we're going to come back into this area here, and we could then continue going down. So taking out these highs here would be in the cards. So it is a possible play to this here, but the better play would be to catch it going down.
What's interesting, the dollar has not been able to get up to parity yet.
clean up my chart here. All right, so looking for a retrace on Bitcoin here.
Is that a 1 minute chart, Lennox?
This is, yes.
Okay, well. Right now it seems to be moving pretty much in unison with NASDAQ for the last 4 candles, which means it looks like it wants to go up.
At least in the short term.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of decided not to try for the next high of
Okay, so we
April
breached,
23rd.
taking out that high. Now look for a
I think we have-
retrace.
I think we have a 1, 2, 3 top on Tesla 1 minute.
Well, I wouldn't be looking at a 1, 2, 3 top at this point, Peter, because we're still in a move to the upside. So
Okay.
don't want to be looking at it in that way.
Okay.
We're still in a move to the upside, so we'd be still looking for 1, 2, 3 bottom to continue the move, more so than a 1, 2, 3 top to come back down,
Okay.
if that makes sense. So Tesla, again, since we have a 1, 2, 3 down here, another one. So this is what's controlling the move, and so
Yeah, I see
we get this push up. So we don't want to look for 1, 2, 3 to come down. That's, I mean,
Okay.
it's possible, of course. You know, you could probably play a quick move, but you're not going to make that much out of it. So we want to see a 1, 2, 3 to continue, more so than looking for a 1, 2, 3 to come down.
Okay.
Oh, so even if I had moved, even if I had my stop here, it looks like I would have been taken out. So that's where I was going to put my stop at that point there, but I decided to bring it up a little tighter. And so I would have been taken out even at that level. So maybe they won't take this low. So if we break this low, then, we could be seeing a move that could take us back down possibly, but I don't think that's in the cards. Continue going up here. So I would look for, you see, I'm getting a nice fractal there. That's a nice entry right there. At that point, we could wait for a breach of the high, a 1, 2, 3 here to continue move. But
Yeah,
if we break this low, go ahead, George.
I decided not to go back into NASDAQ, and right now we're only about 10 handles away from the high of 423, so it's just not enough room to take advantage of that.
Yeah, I think we might be very close to the yeah, we're very close to that high that I was saying that we were heading for. So there you go. That was the target.
Yep,
So,
that was it.
Again, they don't have to go through it. They sometimes they don't go through it. They might just come close.
Just come close
retrace.
enough, right?
But I would expect, because we're in a third wave, that we should at least just wick through it. And we could continue. The next high is not that far away either. So we've got a series of highs up here. So there's the next one. So let's see the 4 hour. So let me just get rid of this fib here. Okay, so the overall picture again is we look at where's our 1, 2, 3. This is what's controlling the move. We've gone up. We're chopping up and down in this. So at this point, we move up, taking out. We should look to take out both of these highs. That's what will be expected in this leg here: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then what would we expect once we get to this high based on our structure. If you can see it, then this is what really helps you to make heads or tails of what's going on, because these guys are really good. They're manipulating everybody with throwing all these patterns out to confuse everyone and so forth, right? So if you can see what they're doing ahead of time, this is the whole kicker. This is the whole key to the game. So based on our structure, we get 1, 2, and then 3, and then usually they chop it up A, B, C, D, E. So right now we're coming up to D from what I'm seeing. So I would expect another drop down to take out these two guys. So right now we're coming up to this point here. So I would expect them to come back down and possibly to take out this low, possibly, and then we get another move back up. So then we'll get this move back to the upside to take all these out. So they don't have to take out this high here. They don't have to take out this high. You see, so they can leave these guys sitting here, leave these guys sitting here, and come back down, and then go back up and take them out after. So there's no guarantee that these ones will be taken. So if that makes any sense whatsoever, what I just showed you here, this is kind of looking ahead of time, being a prognosticator, as it were, to see what are they really doing. Of course, I could be totally wrong, and this move is gonna just scream out of here. So that's possibility as well. We don't have to come all the way back down and take out this low at all, right? But that would be my expectation, anyways. So just going to go back to Bitcoin on the 1 minute here. So you can see Bitcoin is just chopping in a fourth wave as well, just like the NAS. And then we're looking for it to take off out of here, but it's been having some problems. So on the hourly, it's chopping up and down. So we've moved up to this level. We would expect it to continue moving up a little higher, but it seems to be struggling a little bit at this point. Not doing what the NAS has done and just gone straight up.
Yeah, the NAS just made the high I was looking for, without me, of course, but it's a question of how much higher it's going to go at this point.
So
yeah, we're not seeing any divergence yet with this thing.
So the NAS looks like it's the only one that's taken out that 4-hour high, whereas the Dow and S&P still haven't. Whereas the Dow hasn't even come up to that to the open of that 4-hour high candle yet. So I think it's gonna keep shooting up for a little bit at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
And look what Bitcoin did. I was looking for a retrace back down to about 50% area, and they don't do that. So they just did a quick retrace, and they're gone.
As I was saying, that followed what the NAS was doing for right now. I guess it's the last 10 candles since that consolidation move.
So interesting here on Bitcoin. Now, when you go to the higher time frame and look at it, I thought when I was down in the lower time frame that it's a possibility that we could come back down, but now it's looking like no, it's not that way at all. They're actually looking to go up. So it's the higher time frame that really wins out. The lower time frame creates the movements, but the higher time frame gives us the trajectory. It's like you're on a map and you're charting out your route. You can only see it from the bird's eye view where price is heading, but when you come down to the lower time frame, you can get fooled and you can make the wrong turns. You see, you can make the wrong turns on the lower time frame, but on the higher time frame, it's showing you what the trajectory is.
So that said, the 5-minute Tesla shows 2 back-to-back 1, 2, 3 bottoms, which means we should have a lot of upside potential.
On the 5-minute of Tesla, let's see. Yes, and interestingly, they did come and take that low out here. Interestingly, right? So, well, so there's so this is the 5 minutes. So it's a totally different thing. So this is our 1, 2, 3 on the 5 minute you're referring to, right?
Yeah, and then there's another one forming now.
And so this move up puts us into a fourth wave. So now we're looking to continue going up, right?
Yeah.
So it looks like we're going to take out this guy and this guy. So on the 5 minute, it's So on the 1 minute now, sorry, you confused me there a little bit because we've already gone through this move, this 1, 2, 1, 2, and then now we're here, fourth wave, and now we're looking to continue going at this point to take out these equal highs here. There's liquidity here now from anybody who thought that this was the top and they're going to sell.
So the upside potential hasn't changed.
There is a possibility on this thing, though, that it could return to my regression line, which is down from this point. Could go lower. But the trend is up overall, but it looks like
we've got a clean 1, 2, 3. So this would be a good buying area at this point if you want to get back into Tesla. I don't see them taking out the low again. It's possible, of course, but I don't see that occurring.
No, it probably would not be the low, but in the area where it was retracing down to the order block or something like that. It'd be higher than that because it's harder for me to judge at this point. But it looks like we're getting some more downward movement than the upward movement. How long it'll last, I don't know. I'll just keep a look on it, see what happens.
Are you referring to Tesla?
Tesla, yes.
Yeah, I would think that this 1, 2, 3
right now
should
it's
hold.
still favoring the upward movement, but it's very close to making a decision to go downward, and which means the 1, 2, 3 we're seeing is a top rather than a bottom. But that's up in the air right now.
Well, they've certainly come back quite a ways here. They've come back into this order block right there. So that should be as far as they go, and should be able to get a fractal right here to turn it around. There are no gaps though. So no gaps here. I don't think they should take this low, but it's possible. Of course, anything's possible. And they're coming down much lower than I would have expected here. So if we're going to turn around, it has to be now. Otherwise, our 1, 2, 3 is by. So the only violation of our 1, 2, 3 is if our number 3 point comes below our number 1 point, even by a tick. So that's the violation. It can tie it, but it can't break it. And they broke it. So there we go. So I am wrong in thinking that we're going to not break that low. And so they've wicked through it. So essentially it's a sweep, which is fine. They can sweep that. If we close below it, it's a totally different story here. Would not have expected them to even sweep it, but they have. So the only other possibility here now is that we get a closure below it, and then there's a gap down here that they could come back into down here. So that's possible as well. If not, then we're just going to be going back up, taking out this high, getting a 1, 2, 3 in here to continue going back up, something like that. So we'll see. This is very crucial now at this point. There are no other gaps here.
Looks like a full reversal on the NAS. I don't know what they're aiming for, but I think they might be aiming for the lows right now.
Okay, so they did make a little sweep right there, right? So let me go back up to the hourly. So that's what we expected them to do, to take out that high, and they've done that. So that was a beautiful move, a beautiful run on the NAS all the way up to that level. So getting in and staying up to that target would have been a beautiful trade. We did it in Tesla instead, which is fine, right? And now I wouldn't expect them to come back down because I have a 1, 2, 3. I'm expecting them to gyrate up here, right? And then continue. So I'm not expecting a drop to come back down, as it were, but so we could get consolidation, is what I'm saying at this point.
Tesla's still at that crucial point where it could be heading down further.
It looks like a 1, 2, 3 on the 1 minute for the NAS. So it looks like it wants to drop a bit.
Yeah, so again, on the higher time frame, we're in a consolidation area. So we've got a 1, 2, we come up to 3. So you cannot look at it as a 1, 2, 3 top to come back down. You can, you can, but just understand that you're at the third wave, end of the third wave, so you're starting into a fourth wave. So if you take the 1, 2, 3s here to come down, your risk is super high that it's not gonna work. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Just
because it's a choppy area, so they can manipulate everybody to make it look like they want to do that. But in essence, like you see a little 1, 2, 3, yeah, you can play that down a little bit, but you have to be careful because it's going to be quick and it's not the greatest play.
Yeah, if I would have already gotten out of that by now. So I'm not even gonna play for the downside.
So that's a quick in and out, yeah. Because that's the ploy. They want you to jump in on these these to come down, but they're just going to take you out quick. So you have to be nimble. If you know where you are, like I say, if you know where you are, and we're expecting this kind of movement at this point here, and we don't know what they're going to do. They can do this, they can do that, they can do this. So they can manipulate it in any way they want. So it's very dangerous up here.
Lennox, I saw reading that top of that wave is 5, and this is wave A coming down right now.
Okay, so what time frame are we on to be reading?
1 minute I'm looking at.
In the 1 minute time frame. So if we're starting here as our 1, 2, 3, right?
Oh, I started down where I originally got in.
Okay, so you're scrunching up your chart.
So that big jump up that I was in is a wave 3, and then we have the short wave 4, and then a 5 to the high to the peak.
Okay, so if we look at it in that way, so then this would be the low down here.
Right. And
then we get this is like a 1, 2, 3 here. Then this would be 3, 4, 5. So so this move down, yes, you can get a 1, 2, 3. Yes, you can look at it, you can trade it. However, you have to be careful because this can be short-lived.
Absolutely, right.
So this looks like that kind of pattern, certainly. And because we've hit our peak, so this would be our number 5 now. This would be our number 3. This would be our number 4. That's certainly so. But also, when you go to the higher time frame, this changes, right? Because if you go to let's see, the 5, you see on the 5, we don't this is just a little blip now, right here.
Right.
This is just a little blip. This becomes the stronger 3 point. So this whole thing becomes our 1-2, and then we get this move. So yes, we can chop up and down in here. You can play these moves on the lower time frames, but you have to be super careful again. That's all I'm trying to say is.
Yeah,
if
I
you understand.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's just the way I was looking at it. I'm looking at Tesla now, and it's getting more into a down movement than an up movement at this point.
And all they're doing is chopping it up, and that's it. So
that's right.
I go to the 15 on the NAS, and you can see on the NAS on the 15-minute, it's a totally different thing. So we get a 1-2, and then we get this push. So now we know that we're in a fourth wave. So on the lower time frame, yes, you can go down there and play, but be aware of where you are is all I'm trying to say.
Exactly.
Because we've come to this level, because we have a 1-2-3 bottom, we're not expecting this to come back down. We're expecting it to continue going up, but we have to go through this first.
Right. And on Tesla, there's a possibility that could go back to the VWAP line, which is about 254 area.
Okay, so let's see what Tesla is doing here. So Tesla, same kind of story. We're still I'm on the 15. All we did was go back up. So here's our A, here's our B, here's our C, here's our D. It looks like at this point, but maybe we're not done yet.
For the E wave down, which should break the C.
But we might not be done the D yet. So
that's true.
You understand? So we could still have another leg to take out this high, and then we could come down, right? So we just have to be aware.
Have to be patient and wait for.
So when you go to the lower time frame, just like in here on the A leg, it consists of 5 waves. It consists of those 5 waves, and so you have to look at it in that way. And so we've only had 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'd expect them to take out this high. You see?
Yep.
So that's the expectation. And it doesn't mean I'm right. It's just that's the expectation. So patience to get one more push to the upside, because since we have our 1, 2, 3, that's what we would expect. So this pullback that we're seeing. So there's our, we say this whole thing is our 1, 2, 3, and then we get this move. Now we know that we're in a fourth wave chopping up and down. So they can do whatever they want up here, but the trajectory is for us to go back up and take out these highs, not to come down. That's what they want everybody to do. You see, they want everybody to sell. Because they in order for them.
I mean, I'm not ready to jump into it, but to me, it's looking like it's going to come down to the 153.5 to 154 area.
What's that? What are those numbers? What are those numbers you just said?
Tesla.
153.
I'm sorry, 250. 250. I'm sorry, 254.25 to 253.5.
Okay, so we do have gaps down here, and we're into those gaps. So I would be really expecting a turnaround imminently here now. So what they're doing again is they're just trying to entice the sellers. So we've got buyers under here, and they were just taken out. All these buyers here. Anyone looking to continue along here. So that's a nice ploy, because if you don't realize that you're at the third wave and into a fourth wave, this is what happens. You're going to jump in to go long here. And, that's why you have to wait for that 1, 2, 3 at this point to turn, but it didn't. So they took out the low. So they come down. They're sweeping everybody out again. We're coming into a gap. So now this would be a buy to go back up to take out these highs. That's kind of how I would see it at this point.
Yeah.
So if we could look on the seconds chart, we would see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves at this point. Similar to here, where we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves here. And it's the same thing going up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're always doing the same thing. It's just now this would be a buy opportunity on Tesla to go back again up. So is it worthwhile to go from 255 to 258? If 3 points is enough, then that's a worthwhile trade. But so you have to look at it in that way as well. So the NAS, like I was saying, same kind of thing. We know where we are. We're at a 3, so this can just be our A. They'll go up and make a B, and they'll come back down, take out these guys, make a C, go back up again, make a D, drop back down again, take out C, and so on, E, and then we go, but we don't really know exactly what they're going to do in here. So
For sure.
and look at Bitcoin. Wow. So Bitcoin, I was looking for them to come down here, then I would buy, and they didn't. So the expectation for them to come back on that retrace did not occur. I thought at first that maybe they would only come back up into this area and we would come back down. But then when I looked on the higher time frame, this higher time frame said, no, this is not right. They're going to continue going up. On the lower time frame, you can be fooled by what's going on. The higher time frame bears you out. They say, no, the trajectory is to the upside, not to the downside. So it looked like at this point we had because this is controlling the move, that this drop is a 3 and then we go into a 4 and we could come back down. And I mean, that's still a possibility. It's not saying that it's not possible still. But now we have a 1, 2, 3, so it's looking more like we're going to go. So the higher time frame bears us out more so. So if I go to 30, it's starting to give us a different picture of what's going on. And the picture is that we're chopping up and down, and we'd be likely heading back up to take out these highs. So that's the difference in the lower time frame to the higher time frame. So the overall trajectory for Bitcoin is to the upside. So we don't really want to be selling to come down. But that's what they entice you to do.
And they're good at that.
Yes. This is what makes this game very tough. Because people get lost and they don't know where they are on the chart. And if you don't know where you are on the chart, you're just a sitting duck. You're just a target.
Well, thanks to you, Lennox. I did well this morning.
Excellent.
Very good, Peter.
Yeah, you can make a living doing this.
I do.
That's great. That is good. So looking at my 4-hour candle, you can see my 4-hour candle on Bitcoin gave us the tail right there, and then that's a 1, 2, 3. So that's an entry. Catch the move, even if you just catch it to here. That's a nice play on that, catching the body of the candle going up. Now they've swept the highs, pulling back again. So they're offering another opportunity to get in here. So let's see the 15. So the 15 doesn't give us anything, but the 5. So are we done at this point? Again, is a question. And the higher time frame is saying, yeah, that's possible. Even though we're looking to go up and take out these highs. So a little breather, we could get a retrace and then we could continue. And the worst case scenario, like I say, is that we continued straight down, take out these lows again, that take out these guys. That's possible as well. But because we have a 1, 2, 3, we wouldn't expect that. We would expect, you know, a continuation here. You have to also remember that sometimes you like if I go back up to the 15 minute here, for instance. So one of the things about the Elliott wave is that you get a move down like this, and then you think, okay, this is a bottom, and this is a 1, 2, 3, and yeah, rightfully so. You know, we can consider this a 1, 2, 3. However, in Elliott waves terms, this is also an A and a B, and this is just a C leg of that. So we can go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves here, and then stall out, and we're coming back down. You see, so that's why sometimes it looks like, oh, 1, 2, 3, and we're expecting another continuation, but you don't get that because it's just an ABC move, and that's why we come down. So similar to here, with this can just be an AB, and then this whole leg is a C, and so inside the C you get your 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're done, and then we're turning and going the opposite way. And that's typical of a fourth wave. That's what happens in the fourth wave. You're just getting ABCs. I've gone over this many times with you guys. ABCs, ABCs, ABCs in here, in these legs. And the only leg that doesn't give us an ABC is the final E leg. It gives us 5 waves. So it's tricky when you get into the fourth waves, is all I was trying to say. But what's going on with Tesla? They're still breaking down. You can see where we are coming back down. So are they just doing what I'm just talking about? Is this just an ABC? See, because we're in a chop. So just what I was just talking about. So if this is a 3 and this is an A, this is where it can get complicated. But if you follow me, and this is a D, and I'll put a question mark, and then we're looking for an E, question mark, right? Then these legs just consist of ABC moves. So it's just like an ABC. It's just like an ABC. And then this one will be like an ABC, even though it's elongated. And another ABC. That's totally possible. That's as far as they go. Even though we're sitting here looking at a 1, 2, 3, expecting a move up, they might not do that at all. And we could just come down and make the E, take out the C, and then we get, in this leg, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. So I could be wrong thinking, oh yeah, 1, 2, 3 top. No, it's just going to go sideways and then go. That might not happen at all. You see? So this is the trickery that they play in the fourth waves. So you can see clearly that we're in this chop.
Yeah, we're getting the chop in NASDAQ also.
Yeah, so it's a very difficult area, and that's why a lot of people get chopped out and stopped out and all that kind of stuff, because that's the area they're manipulating it. I do have another gap here. It's what we've come into. So I marked them because they're very important, even though we've got wicks in there, and so where people think that, oh yeah, this is mitigated and all that. No, it's still in play. But we can come in there. So this one now becomes mute because we've gone through it. So we're now here. So do we continue going down? We could, right? If this was our D, remember our D leg, it consists of ABC. So the ABC has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 legs in it. So this is our A, this is our B. So again, this is how, it's tricky, I kind of saying, it's not a straightforward thing to explain, but so now we would expect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down to take out the low of that's our D, this is our C. We would expect them to come all the way down, take that out. So that is workable. And sometimes you don't even see this until it's like, oh, let me take a good look at this, right? Like I'm just doing now. You know, it's hard to really see it until you really start to pay attention to what's going on.
I missed what you were saying, Lennox. Are we going down, or what are we doing?
That's the question right now, right? So I'm going to put this back on. So there are two possibilities. Like I've got an A, B, C, and that's my. So this, I mean, this can get super confusing. So I feel like I'm just confusing everybody by talking this way. But this is how you really have to look at the charts. And if you don't, then you get lost. But by me trying to explain it, I think I might lose everybody anyways, right? So it's a tough one.
Give it a whirl.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to the 15. I'll do this one more time. I'll go down to the 5, actually. Let's go to the 5. Okay, so on the 5, so we had this move up. So if we consider this to be our, let me take that off. Sorry. If we consider this to be our number 3 point, and we are in a fourth wave, which it looks like we are, right? Then this would be our A leg, this would be our B leg up here, this would be our C leg here, this would be our D, and I have to put a question mark because are we done is the question. And then we would be expecting an E leg to come down to take out our C leg. So C is already taken out A, and D typically takes out B. You got equal highs there, so that's what typically occurs.
B typically takes out what?
The D leg typically takes out the B leg.
Okay, sorry.
And the B leg will take out number 3. But sometimes they switch it up and so on. So right now what we have is C taking out A, D taking out B. It looks like this has taken this one out. Let's see if they did take that out. By even the tickets, it's taken it out. So the high is 258.15 and the high over here 258.12. So they did take it out by 3 ticks. They took out B. So so the question is, are we done on this leg?
It almost, from my point of view, it seems like we're very close to an end of the downward movement. It did not hit my 253.50, but it came to 253.69, I guess it is.
Okay, so if we're not done, which it looks like we're not, then this is a an A, B, and in here, and then we got a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to push up one more time to take out the highs right here.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm seeing here, Peter. So we're either going to push up and take out those highs. Otherwise, if not, then this is a 1, 2, 3 here, and we're just going to come down. But I'm not liking that move. I'd rather see them go up and take this out first, give us our D, and then come down.
More likely.
You see?
I agree.
That's kind of where we're at right now. So this leg, are we done, or do we go up one more time, take out the high? That would then give us our D at that point. Then we'd be looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ways down to take out the C.
I think the 1, 2, 3 bottom on the 5-minute chart is controlling the move.
It is. That's what's controlling this move. So right now it's looking like a pump, like I say. So if I go back to the 1 minute, we've come back, see, to that level.
Yep.
We look for a 1, 2, 3 here to possibly take us back up to take out these highs.
Right.
That's kind of the trajectory that I'm seeing.
That's what it's looking like to me too at this point.
If we're wrong, then this is a legitimate 1, 2, 3 top, and then we're gonna continue down, but I don't really see that. That's possible. Like, you know, you have to always look at the possibilities, other possibilities, but so it all depends on the NAS as well, because the NAS, you know, you see the NAS is still strong.
Yeah, the NAS seems to be stronger than the Tesla right now.
S&P is same, and Bitcoin is just keeps on rocking here. So we came back down again. I haven't had a chance to really play Bitcoin here, but yeah. So nice moves, anyways. So Tesla, quite interesting here today. So I'll go another 6 minutes, guys. We'll call it a morning.
So you see
Okay.
Bitcoin going up, Lennox?
Yes, I do. And at first I thought perhaps that we were going to come down, but then when I came to the higher time frame, we're in a similar thing to Tesla. You see, they're doing almost the same type of thing. You see, that's, you know, it's almost identical. So we're looking for them to push to the upside here to possibly take out these highs here. It might leave this guy alone up here, but you know, again, that's the trajectories to that upside here. So it's almost identical move. If I go down to the 15, we're getting that 1, 2, 3 bottom that's controlling the move on the 15, and we're getting that in that third wave here. So they're looking to take out all these sellers here, right? So it's beautiful. It's just a matter of getting in on this train here, getting a nice seat, and you can get a nice ride. But it's you have to be really vigilant, and you have to stick to one thing. You know, like if I'm playing, when I'm playing without, you know, chatting away like this, I'm just sticking to one thing. I'm looking at Bitcoin. You know, I'm looking at NAS. I'm not looking at. I rarely look at both. It's like one or the other. I'm going to be jumping into whichever one has the better setup. I'm jumping into that one, and so I'm just concentrating on the one. And you know, right now, I'm jumping over to you know, to Nasdaq, to S&P, to Tesla. You know, it's just you have to kind of stick with one thing. It's too much to jump around. It becomes very difficult to trade that way.
I can attest to that.
Yeah, so now we can see that's what they were doing here, right? You see, so they just do a quick ABC here, and then we get a 1, 2, and now we're coming back up to take out these highs. Because this 1, 2, 3 now is in control. So sometimes you get fooled, and how they fool us is, for example, and especially the ICT guys who are looking at these gaps, there's a gap here. So since there was a gap right there, a lot of people will look at this and, oh, there's a sweep and there's a one, you know, they get this move and they're jumping in at this point to go. So you're early, but there's another gap down below, and they look at it and say, oh, it's been mitigated by all these wicks and so forth, but it's not. They can still come into it, and they do, you see? So the key for us is to look at the structure. If you can see the structure, then you have a fighting chance. So you know that by structure-wise, that if you can spot the 1, 2, 3, 4, then you know that, oh, they're going to take out this low again. You know, you can see. So sometimes it's easy to see, sometimes it's not. So you always have to be looking at your structure. Is the key for me, anyways. The key for me is to see the structure, and it doesn't matter what time frame this is. If this is 1 second chart or a 1 month chart, it's the same thing. If I go to Bitcoin again, I'm going to go to the monthly chart on Bitcoin, because I just want to show you that what I'm talking about here. So it doesn't matter what the time frame is. It's the structure is always the same. So I see a 1, 2 here, 3, 4, 5. See, it's always the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's always the same. The structure is always the same. So this is the key. So if this is,
so if we're at 5, the end of wave 5 on the monthly chart, what does that say about where Bitcoin is going from here?
okay, so now is where the count comes in. So because we're on the monthly chart, so I'm gonna have to do this again because this is a good question there, Peter. Very good. So let's pull back and really look at the chart. So now if I look at the chart, I can see we started down here, and now we got 1, 2, and then we get 3, 4, 5, and then we get this drop. So in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, same thing. Then we get A, B, C. So that's our, what is this? If you understand what's going on, this is what's controlling the move, right?
Wow.
So this move right here, you see? Do you get it?
Yeah.
So where are we?
Wave 3.
Wave 3, exactly. So
wow.
what it tells, yeah, wow is right? You understand?
I get it now.
Yeah, big time. So if you get it, then you've got it, because if I put the fib on this thing, let me get the right fib here, and I'm looking to go to 1.618 target. You see? Here's 1.618 target, 180,000.
I'll take that.
You understand?
I get it now.
Yeah. So that's the beauty of the Elliott wave, and it by understanding where you are. So if I'm correct and that is a 1, 2, then 3 is going to be up here. You see?
Makes sense to me.
Now I'll show you something that was quite interesting here. So let me go to gold, because
yeah, I was going to ask you that.
Yeah. So gold. I'm going to go back to 2000. So here's when I was started on playing in the markets. I was learning back in 1996. I started trading for the first time in that area. So we had this big drop in gold. Gold was down at below 300. See that? It made this move here and dropped. So right away, what is that? if we don't break this low, then we have a 1, 2, 3 bottom, right? So if it's a 1, 2, 3 bottom, then we can expect that they're going to go up and take out these highs up here. So that's up to 400 and some odd in gold. Okay, so that's great. So let's see. They go up, they take it out, right? See? So all this movement up gives us this leg from 2000 down into 2009. So now we're just starting. You see? So this whole thing, if we put the fib on that, is a 1, 2. This is just a 1, 2. So we've got a long way to go. You get it?
I get it now.
Yeah. It's incredible. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but that's our 1. That's our 2. So now we're in this move. So here we are at, when we were down here, I was telling everybody that we're gonna, back in the 2000s there, I was telling people, were asking me where do I see gold going to? I said the gold's going to go up to 1,000. Why? Because I could calculate from down here that it's going to go up to 1,000, but they thought I was a lunatic down here. They said, yeah, right, gold's not going to go to 1,000. Yes, it is. But it was correct, and it did go up to it. You see, it went up to 1,000 right there, and then it dropped back. So that's just the first wave, second wave, and now we're in the third wave. So we're in the third wave.
Fast forward to today.
We haven't come back down to these lows, and you see, and we're just going and going, and now we're really rocking. So we're still in a third wave, you see. But we've got a long way to go with gold. So that's the scrunch up the chart, and then you can see it. You can see from where I was pointing out. This is 1979. Never mind. 2000 was in here, so we came down to. So there's even lower, of course, but 2000s, and so this whole move is a 1-2, and then now we're in the third wave. See.
So you saw 1,000 back then. What do you see
back
now?
in 2000? Yeah.
What do you see now?
Oh, well, then we'd have to calculate this move here. So that would, let's see. Let's just calculate that move just from down in the lows here. If I put the fib on that move, just eyeballing it here. I'm just looking at 1.618 as a target. So close to 4,000 in the short term, but that would only put us at 3.
Wow.
You see? So that would just be, this is only 1-2. So then we'd be at 3 at almost at 4,000 there, 3,800 and some odd. You understand?
I get it now.
So then we can chop, and then we're still going to go.
I know you're running out of time, but maybe you could do the same thing for silver.
So silver.
I'm pretty high on silver.
Well, look at silver's previous highs at $49. 49. Wow. It didn't hit 50. 49.81. Okay, so that's where they're heading, Peter.
Wow.
That's where they're heading to take out that high. You see?
Wow.
Yeah. So we've got a 1, 2, 3 here. So we're in the third wave, just like gold is.
Wow.
You see?
Yeah.
So I even have the fib on it before you even asked. So there's my 1.618. That takes me up to 47. So 49 is easily going to be taken out.
Wow.
You see?
Well, you really got this nailed down.
It's not me. It's just I have to give all the thanks to Mr. Ralph Nelson Elliott, because boy, this guy was smart. Back if I go to the Dow and this is how smart this guy was. Remember the Dow?
Yeah.
Way back in 1929, this guy was seeing all this. It's amazing. Here's 1929. This is when he lived, and he saw this.
Was he before 1929 or after?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was in his prime there, and he was watching the charts and drawing every day. He would draw the open, the high, the low, and the close of each candle. Every day he would do that, and he would plot it on a chart. Whatever that was going to be, that and so on, right? And he started to see this pattern unfold, right? And he said, "Wow, there's a pattern to this. It's always doing this, and then it goes." See? And he's correct. Always doing that, and then it goes. So he surmised that there's a pattern to this, and it's based on the behavior of the individuals playing. Quite interesting, eh?
Yeah. I know you're running out of time, but I appreciate your opinion on the S&P 500, since that's very controversial right now.
Yeah. So back then he was telling, he wrote to all some of these brokers and everything, and telling them that the crash was going to be over in 1932, and then we'd see a big explosion to the upside. But they, nobody, of course, could see it because this was just devastating at the time, right?
Yeah.
But from the charts, he could surmise that was what was going to occur. Quite interesting.
Wow.
Because it's all in the charts, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes, sir.
So you recommended the wave bias this morning or last night?
Yeah, wave basis.
Wait. Yes. Not that
Yes.
yourself or
Sorry?
okay. So when you did you hear the question?
No, go ahead.
I said, do you use it personally?
Yes. I use it for learning purposes. Yeah. So let me go to it and I'll just show you.
So I'm sure there are times where it may give you a bias, but you might just I'm gonna look at it myself anyway, just because. Do you find it accurate or?
It's always subjective because, you know, if I give you a chart, if I give Peter a chart, if I give George a chart, everybody's going to have their own opinions as to what they think it's going to do, right? So you have to look at it in that way, that it can be subjective, right? So I'm on the NAS here. So I'm on the, what time frame am I on here? 1 hour. Oh, where's my time? Yeah, I'm on the 1 hour time frame. So all you have to do is just click this W, and then it will draw the waves for you. See? So it draws the waves out for you. So if by moving my mouse over the points, it shows you what's going on. You see? Beautiful. And you can set, there's a lot of stuff in here, but you can set the history back so you can see previous. So now you can see, like if I move this over, so there's a B up there. So you see what I was showing you guys, that we've been in a huge wave, and this is a B wave, this is a C wave down here, and the beauty of this is that it tells you what everything is. See, when I move my mouse over the B, it tells me that it's a zigzag pattern and so forth, and it gives you all the explanations for what all these things are. This is an impulse starting point and so forth. This is here's our 1, here's our 2. That means that this leg goes up to our 3 and so on. So this is really, really powerful. So it's plotting the waves for you in real time on any instrument that you want. So that's why I recommend if you want to learn more about the waves and how they work, this is a great site to go to.
Which site is that again, Lennox?
It's in the chat there. It's wavebasis.com.
Wavebasis.com?
Yeah. So if I put Tesla here, for instance, I can put Tesla and we can look at Tesla. There it is. So let's put Tesla there. Okay, there. Is that Tesla? No, that's not Tesla. Let's try that again. There we go. There's Tesla on the hourly, right? So now I can just click on the wave, and it puts and you can see what's going on. And so we've been in, you can see it's very complex, right? And that's what I'm trying to say to you guys, that it's very complicated. So it's very difficult for me to explain some of the things, and I might lose you guys in translation, but I'm trying to make sense of it, but it can get very convoluted. So you can see we're inside a 4th wave at this point because we're chopping up and down and so forth. But if I drop down to a lower time frame, let's see if I can let me go down to the 5 that we were on. It won't let me because you have to purchase it in order to go down to lower time frames and so forth. So I just kind of use it off the hourly. I don't bother go back. I know that I got a PhD in this stuff, so I don't need to, delve into it, if you understand what I'm saying. So this helps you from the hour. You can just use it on the hourly, and you're good,
Before you leave,
allow you the hourly here. Yeah.
Before you leave today, I'd still appreciate your opinion on the S&P 500.
Okay, so S&P, where are we at? 828, S&P 500. So
starting
you can see
top.
Starting at the top.
Well, starting with the monthly, and then I'll let you know down. I just want to know where you think it's going.
Okay, so we're on the monthly here on the S&P. So, you see the last 3 bars here. The last 3 bars. These are the last 3 bars on the monthly. Yeah. These 3 bars are really very helpful because they kind of point to where the trajectory, is. That just the bars alone help quite a bit. But so from this point, here's our lowest point, and we get this big, huge move up, and now we get another move here, and then we'll get this move here. So where do you think we're heading next?
Up.
Up, exactly. So we should be going up to take out these highs, short term. Then we probably get a pullback, or we could slide up, and you see, and then we could continue. So we don't know what they're going to do in here, but we're in volatile times, so we could expect something like this before we finally break out to new high, which is what I would expect, that we'd break out to new highs. I don't think Trump is an idiot, so I think that it's a little short-term pain here that we're going to go through before we get some euphoric moves to the upside.
I agree.
I think we're going to go through a run like this up here.
Wow.
So that's how I see it at this point. So I was saying that as much as I'm an optimist. I'm an optimist. I don't want to see price coming down like this. This is not good for anyone, right? We want to see us continue to the upside. This is the best for everybody concerned, not just in North America, but all over the world, right? So if we see a collapse like this is not going to be good. But the charts are saying, no, we should bounce and we should continue. Now, again, we can get stuck in here for a while, but we still would expect to continue going up.
Well, the government typically tries to keep the market buoyant. So, as with the last downturn because of COVID, they pushed it up nicely after that. Good analysis, Lennox.
Mm-hmm. So that kind of gives you a synopsis of how I look at it and how again, not that I'm going to be right every time and so forth. It's a very it's a science, but it's not an exact science, the wave counting and so forth, because there's a lot to it. And like I say, 2 or 3, 5 different people will look at it and give you something different. So who's right, But I think you can see overall, you can kind of get a feel for this structure. And this is all that the structure is. And
I don't know how you could possibly trade without knowing that structure. I really don't.
This is super, super powerful. But a lot of people debunk it and say, that's just nonsense. But I don't see it that way. But
well, they're the ones that lose money.
All right. So this was quite the session here. So let's go back down quickly on Tesla. So is Tesla done? Is it this is the monthly? Is it done? Here we have a 1-2. So this is the controller. We've come back into this area, which didn't like to see them come all the way back in here, but we get this move, sweep at a high, come back in. So the expectation would be that we should continue going back up to take out these highs.
Yep. That
would be the ideal. We don't want to see this collapse. It could collapse, of course, right? There's nothing saying that we can't collapse. But, we'd rather like to see price continue going back up for everybody's sake. But yeah, so that's Tesla. So for all intents and purposes, at this point here, this whole move is a 1-2. So then we get another 1-2, then we're getting another 1-2, and then and so on. So that's where this would be a third wave, and we're just starting it essentially. And if we can continue that way, otherwise this is a really nasty collapse. We can certainly come take out these lows, and collapse, but that would be not boding well for anybody. All right, so let's go right back down to the 1 minute, see what's going on. All right, so we did get that bounce off there. We get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave. There's my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. And I was thinking we'd come and challenge these highs, but they've come back down. So what are they doing? They're giving us a big, huge 1, 2, and so we could see a continuation. Because again, these guys are still in control down here. So we're just inside this channel.
Yeah, George was right about where price is going to drop to.
The 254, yeah, 253.50. Well, we didn't come all the way to 253.50, but we stayed in the 254 area. Yeah, so we could see a bounce here now to the upside again. All right, so and NASDAQ is still strong. So a little blip, and we're continuing. Bitcoin is strong. So everything's looking pretty good right now, going into the rest of the day. And you know, guys, I could sit here all morning and all the way to the close with you, but
Lennox, have you ever traded the weekly or monthly charts?
the weekly, yes. Because let's see, USD CAD. When I first started with you guys back in, let me go to the weekly chart here on weekly on USD CAD. Okay, so when I first started in 2017 with you guys, when I was new to the to Forex, so I saw this setup. So I don't think I ever told you guys about this trade actually. So in 2017, where is it? There it is. I saw the setup on the USD CAD. So I was new into the game with you guys, and I saw this 1, 2, 3 top. And I thought, wow, what if I just went in with, remember I was doing 10 lots?
Yeah.
I thought that's way too many on a weekly time frame. So what if I just went in with 0.1 lot and just try it? Because I had learned that 10 lots was quite excessive and so forth. But look at that move. So it's just because of the 1, 2, 3 top, you see.
How did you make out?
It played out well because you put on the fib on that, and you can go all the way down to that third wave there. So that was the 1, 2, 3 top that I saw and then entered and played out that. So that was quite nice. That was a great move. You can see how beautiful that was, and in those times I wasn't looking at previous lows and so forth. All this previous lows and liquidity stuff. I didn't, we didn't know anything about that kind of stuff. So what are they doing? They're just coming back down, taking out liquidity on this side. But I didn't know anything about that kind of stuff. It was just all I knew about was a 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go down to target. My 1.618 or lower. So
Yeah.
that was it. But that's the kind of move where you can see it on the chart on the bigger time frame, and yeah, you can play that. It's a long time to stay in a trade, but that's how I learned from Ken Roberts to find the 1, 2, 3s, find the high of the period, and find the one, wait for the 1, 2, 3 to form, and then jump in and play. You can sit in it for 3 months if you want. So how long did this take? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 8 weeks. Say 8 weeks, 2 months, right? So that was his.
The problem with that is possible drawdown, even though it's going in the right direction.
Yeah, so you can't worry about that. With 0.1 lot, you get in and you just, they're killing you with spread and what do you call it? What's the other thing? The swap fees. Because if you hold it for a long time, if the swap is negative, then it's not good, right? I'm not sure if the swap is negative on that one. Anybody know offhand? USD CAD, is the swap negative, positive?
Don't know.
Well, you'd have to know what the rates were at that time.
Let me just see if USD CAD.
I mean, the rates are different right now. I mean,
Yeah, it could have been.
dollar was positive back then, and
Yeah, let's just see. Just going to see if I can find USD CAD real quick here. Let's see the details.
yeah, but the swap changes with time, so you'd have to.
Yeah, so yeah, right now the swap is negative going short in
Yeah.
USD CAD. So I don't remember at the time if it was negative or positive. Let's say it was negative, then that's one of the drawbacks to it. But if you're making money, it doesn't matter about the swap. That's the key to it. If you're making money, that's just the price of admission, as it were, right? Price of playing. So these are the kind of moves you can make on these time frames. So you can see you're seeing 1, 2, 3s all the time, but you don't want to play a big one like that. I mean, you can, but it's tougher. So yeah, we can, and it's the same. Just like this could be like the 1 minute chart. So we see this 1, 2, 3. We see the sweep. We see the sweep again. We come back, drop in. That's a play back to that level. It's the same here. You get in, it's a play to that level, but you're on the weekly chart, so you're taking a month or two to make that move, a month or two to make that move. But that's the same principle, right? These ones, a little smaller 1, 2, 3s, a little more palatable, where you can get out really quickly in a month, in a week or so. The bigger ones are tougher, but it's the same principle. It doesn't matter what the time frame is. It's just, I mean, look at that play there. That was back in 2020. This big, huge play down. So again, the 1, 2, 3 top, and then you don't have to sit in it for months and months. You can just do it for a week or two, and you're done. But it's tough on the higher time frames because you have to have that patience. So the reason why I can do it, Peter, is because I was playing options all the time. So since mid-90s, I've been playing options, and with options, there were only monthly options. So I would get in on April 1st, say, and I have to stay in till the end of April 30th, right? So I got used to being in trades for long periods of time. So it was no problem for me to go in and sit in the trade for the whole month. So options were only monthly. Now they have weekly options and even midweek options and expiry and so forth. Right? The SPY, they expire on Monday and Wednesday and Friday. So you don't have to sit in the option for a whole month sometimes. And the reason why you sit in it for a month is because you go through things like this, where it's not moving. It's just going up and down. So now you got caught. You bought this option up here and you didn't get out, and you just got caught. Now you have to sit in it for the whole month. And meantime, your initial, say you went in for $500, your initial $500 is down to like $100 in this area. But if you can make it out of there to your target, that $500 can be 1,000 at the end or more. So you don't want to be going through this kind of stuff, fourth waves, when you're playing options. You want to catch the moves that are quick. And that's the whole part. That's the whole key to the game of options. In and out quickly. So yeah, so that's it. And there's the move. So in a few weeks, you could have made nice money there on USD CAD coming to the downside. And like I said, this is just like a 1 minute chart. It's the same thing. It's the same exact principle. It's just that you're staying in a longer time.
Do you ever think about anything other than trading?
Of course, there are lots of other things going on.
Because you're so good at it.
Yeah. Well, my goal has always just been to not lose. How can I not lose in this game? That's always the goal. Because remember, if you're losing, somebody's winning. So why should you be the loser? you should always try to win, because if you're losing, somebody's taking your money. So you want to be the one that's not losing. So how can you not lose? And that was my initial goal from day one, to get in here and not lose. But it's very, very, very difficult, right?
I would imagine the Elliott waivers beat out the non-Elliott waivers.
Well, there's a big community of Elliott. If you go to ElliottWave.com, it's huge. There's big community of Elliottians, as they're called. And yeah, we certainly believe in the structure. So, and what I love about it is there are only 13 rules. There are only 13 rules in the Elliott wave. So it's pretty, if you want to get into it and understand what the rules are, it's quite good. But I just stick with the basics, and the basic rules, are number 1 point, and number 2 point, and number 3 point, 4.5 point. This is the basics of it. And the basic rules are simple. Number 2 point can't break can't break the low. Number 3 is the longest wave. So that's 2 rules already. Number 4 shouldn't break below number 1. That's 3, 4 rules there, and so on. These are just the basic rules, but I just stick to the basics. It gets quite complicated. It can get quite complicated.
Yeah, right now Tesla is down.
Tesla's moving down. Let's see.
Yeah.
All right. So we've broken that low. So what are they doing, right? So you can see, remember where we are. So if you keep the whole thing, that you remember where you are, if you can remember where you are, we're in this chop. So are they just coming straight down now to come down? They're not going to go and take out that high like we were kind of expecting. They're already taken the high. So you remember? So this is already taken. So it is possible that they're not going to go back up one more time, and then they could just come down. So you have to be able to bend. You have to be able to be flexible, as it were, when you're looking at this stuff. Because if you're rigid, you're stuck in your, oh no, it's not, it's just going to do that. You can't be that way. You have to be flexible. So yes, I can see that it's a possibility that we could come down, take out this low, because I have a 1, 2, 3. Anytime I get a 1, 2, 3, you have to look at that possibility that this guy can be taken out. And they've done that. So now that they've done that, I would expect that, okay, we could now go back up and take out these highs still, you see? So I have to be flexible. If I'm wrong, then we're in jeopardy down here, and we would be coming through. And that's totally possible as well. So I have to look at it in that way.
The trick is to only trade wave 3.
The trick is definitely to only get in here and trade to here, get out and stay out, because you don't know what they're doing in here.
Yep.
It's very difficult in here. I've said it so many times, but it's true. It's very difficult in here. So yeah, we could see a couple of different, since they clear this low here, this is the whole secret. Once they clear this low, we've got 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 now. So since they've swept that low, then the likely scenario is that we would go back up now to take out this high. Because this guy is still in control. And our structure says that we should go and take out this high. So this high should be in jeopardy. But it doesn't mean that they have to do that, because sometimes they don't take out this high. So they can certainly pull back up here, take out this guy, and maybe even take out this guy. They don't have to take out this one. And then they can turn back. So you just don't know for sure, but you have an expectation, and that's all I keep saying, that you have to have an expectation, but there's never any for sures in this game. As much as I'm confident in the 1, 2, 3 and the structure and so forth, there's never any, oh yeah, for sure they're going to do such and such. That's why you have to be flexible. I like what Bruce Lee said. You must be like water. You must be able to. Water is one of the hardest substances, yet it's one of the softest substances. Interesting. It can turn to ice. It can be vapor. Water is fantastic, and we can't survive without it.
Depends on the temperature.
Depends on the temperature, and it depends on the temperature in the markets, right? You have to be like water. You have to be flexible. You have to be able to flow with the markets. You have to be able to bend with the markets. Yeah. That's kind of what I'm saying. You have to flow. You have to be able to change your mind and look at it in a different way and so forth, because it's forever changing and moving, and they're manipulating us, right? Remember, if we were market makers, and I was talking to Armin about this yesterday, if we were the market makers, if we were not just the retail traders here, and we were the market makers, what would we be doing? We're going to try to manipulate this so that we mess everybody up. That's what their whole game is. We're going to make it look one way so that everybody thinks, oh yeah, it's going to drop, and everybody jumps in. And why? Because we want to get their money, because we know their stops they're going to put their stops above this level. So if we're going to drop it down, we want to make it look like it's going to go down so that they jump in, and then we go back up to get their money, because we know that we can spend a few million to go up there and get their money, and then we can drop it down without them. This is the whole game, right? From the market maker's point of view.
Yeah, Tesla looks like it's finally bottomed out here.
Yes, so because they swept that low. So because they swept that low, now we would look for our 1, 2, 3 to continue back up. But it doesn't mean that we're gonna go, it doesn't mean that we're gonna go way up or anything like that, because remember where you are on the 15-minute time frame. We're in this chop, so you have to remember where you are. This is where people get messed up, because they don't know where they are. So they see something and they see their little pattern or whatever, and they think, oh yeah, this is it, and they jump in and they're going gung-ho, but it just peters out, because it's just a fourth wave that you're in and so forth, right?
I was going to say, I like the Bruce Lee saying, I do not fear the man that practices 1,000 kicks one time, but I fear the man who practices one kick 1,000 times.
1,000 times. Yep, that's right.
Say that again. I missed that.
Mr. Lee.
Bruce Lee says, I do not fear the man that practices 1,000 kicks one time, but I fear the man that practices 1,000 kicks. Wait. I do not fear the man that practices 1,000 kicks one time, but I fear the man who practices one kick 1,000 times.
1,000 times. Yeah. So like we've practiced the 1, 2, 3 1,000 a million times. This is the secret. You have to stick with one thing that works and get to be intimate with it. And that's like the guy practicing his one kick 1,000 times or more. He becomes intimate with that kick. And so you have to be afraid of a guy like that, because he knows that so well, he can take you out before you even have a chance. And this is the same thing with our 1, 2, 3. We have practiced our 1, 2, 3. We've been together here since 2017. We've practiced this 1, 2, 3 over and over and over and over again. We know it intimately, and we're confident in it, and we know it works. It's just a matter of finding the right ones. So we know that when we see a 1, 2, 3 like this and we can get in, we can make a nice move and come up to a previous high or 1.618 or whatever and get out, and we're good. So once we see that, when we see another 1, 2, 3 at this point, we know, yeah, it's a 1, 2, 3, but do we really want to trade it? Right? And we know why we don't want to trade it, because we're in a fourth wave. So if we trade it in the fourth wave, we're likely to give up all the profits we just made here. That's their ploy. That's the market maker's ploy. They want to sucker you into trading in here. So if their move is to continue up, they're going to sucker everybody to sell in here. Right? It just makes sense. Everybody gets sucked
Lennox,
into.
I'm going to have to say
No problem,
goodbye
George.
for now. It's lunchtime.
All right, it is that time. So we're over by quite a bit today, but it's good. It's a good edification, right?
Yes, thank you for everything, Lennox.
No problem.
See you
Yes,
tomorrow.
thank you.
Yeah, good
All
show,
right.
Lennox.
All right.
All right,
Thank you,
Peter.
gentlemen.
Thanks, guys. Marquise, thank you.
Catch you guys tomorrow.
We'll catch you on the morrow, Friday. All right.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing it tomorrow.
Okay.
All
Take
right,
care.
have a
Everybody.
good night.
All right.
Blessings, blessings, blessings.
Okay, guys.
Okay. Bye now, guys.